Oh, you guys are so patient. So welcome again. Welcome to all of you here. Welcome to those of you at home. We're ending our month on In Living Color. The topic today is risking it all for love. This whole month, well, every week we're talking about love. God is love and beauty. Love and beauty. You know, risking it all, love, well, there are four kinds of love, really. The philosophers named four major kinds of love. There's eros, which is romantic love. We all know that. There's philia, which is friendship, the love of friends. And we all know that. There's store, which is familial love, kind of the love we feel for our siblings and our parents, our cousins and our aunties and our uncles. And then there is agape love, which is really unconditional love. Now, I want to tell you that I've experienced kind of a bone-breaking love, heart-wrenching love, blood pressure rising love 3 times in my entire 74 years on this planet. Now, I've experienced the other ones too, and not to minimize the other ones. The other ones are equally as important. Maybe not equally, but definitely important. The first time was my face-to-face encounter with God, the face-to-face encounter within my being of a power greater than myself, by whatever name you wish to call it, that I knew loved me and that I knew created me. It was bone-breaking. It was it was like, you know, the purple head. The second time was my first trip to Africa, staring into the eyes of elephants and lions and giraffes in nature. That's the beauty part of love. As you all know, well, not all of you know, but I have been back to Africa 14 times in 10 years because nature is mind-blowing. And the third time was my experience of Willow Harper, who is a baby who lives in South Africa, I was there when she was born, I was there when she was 3 months, and also that same kind of love that brings you to your knees. Do you know what I'm talking about? So we want to risk it all for love. We want to risk it all for love because you take away love and our world is a tomb. You take away love and there's just the news, right? Or there's just the daily grind. There's just the hamster wheel of moving around life. Not that it's bad, it's just not, it's not that. So, but there's a little bit of a problem. Why we have to do risking it all for love is because love is a risk. And it's a risk because we have a no trespassing sign on our hearts. Do you all know what I'm talking about? Look familiar? So who among us has not been betrayed, hurt, bruised, battered, dumped, divorced, abandoned, or in some other way not mentioned, disrespected, or seriously disregarded? I'm sure I've left a couple out. To be human and to move through life, and often, from the reading really, and often a world that doesn't make love a priority, who of us has not experienced those things? You know, time and time again, my heart's been battered and bruised by another's inability to, or willingness to provide me with consistent and perfect companionship. We have been abandoned to sing our own songs, to write our own poems, to nurse our wounded egos, and to sing our own praises. Now, surely this must mean, after all this battering and bruising and lack of disregard and disrespect, surely this must mean that love is not to be found, or that this idea of God as love is not real. So we protect so as not to be so deeply impacted by the bruising and battering, to not be so deeply impacted by the news, to not be so, to not get hurt. We protect. Now, The problem, it's a fair strategy for avoiding pain. It is. It's a fair strategy for avoiding pain. But the problem with the no trespassing sign is that it not only keeps love out, but it keeps love in. So it's not really a no trespassing sign, it's actually a brick wall. And what's more painful than not being loved is not loving. What's more painful than not being loved is not letting your love out. Do you agree? Yes, to not experience what it means. To not experience what it means. Now, with love, in life, a life with love that will have some thorns, but a life without love will have no roses. So the invitation today, my invitation at the end of this month, our next month is called, the theme for next month is Going Deeper. So this is an invitation to start today to go deeper, to really explore where you're not letting love in and where you're not letting love out. Because I want to tell you that after having the 3 experiences I just shared with you, bone breaking, knee dropping, I would trade my entire life for them. They have been what has given my life extraordinary meaning. Now, can you have a good life without purple dust coming out of your brain? Of course. Would you want to? No. So the question is, are you a thermometer or a thermostat? Giving you a minute to think about that. So this is what Martin Luther described some people as being thermometers and others as thermostats. Now, a thermometer, what does the thermometer do? It takes the temperature, right? It measures based on what's already there. What does a thermostat do? It sets the temperature. So a thermometer measures what's there, looks out, and this thermometer actually is measuring what's within, but it doesn't matter, same, it's just an analogy. So a thermometer is actually taking, and you use this analogy for life, it's actually looking to life and responding according to life, acting the way life is acting, being like everyone else. A thermostat sets the temperature. It actually affects everything else. Now, you are here to set the temperature. You exist to set the temperature of life, to set the tone, to set the feeling, to set what happens. You are to raise the volume and love out loud in such a way, to raise the volume and love out loud in such a way that your character informs your expressions into the world. So you take your cues from the presence of Spirit within you, because the presence of Spirit within you, the presence of God surrounding us, is love and beauty. Love and beauty. This universal intelligence that governs this universe, that is its nature, that is your nature. So you want to set the temperature, you want to be a thermostat so that who you are and how you are contributes to the whole, the all that there is. Now, Jardine said, joy is the infallible evidence of God's presence. I think I've quoted this before because it really speaks to. And by the way, if you haven't had a face-to-face conversation with divine energy yet, the divine of you, the creator of this world, I pray for you to have it, because then you'll have purple dust coming out of your head, right? Then you will weep at the love and the joy and the beauty that you are. So I crossed out joy, not because it's not true, but put love in there because it was consistent with my talk today. But all of the qualities of God are evidence of your being in touch with the love and beauty that is you. So once that happens, you're not so interested in or so connected to what isn't love and beautiful, what isn't loving and beautiful. Because we all know that the world today has not everyone in the world has embraced love and beauty as a way of living and being and seeing, right? There's still a lot of lovelessness. But that doesn't have anything to do with you. We are not statistics. We are individualized expressions of love and beauty. And your life will not be meaningful, truly mind-blowingly meaningful until you know that and until you live that. So there are some things you can do. I'm going to give you some things to do. You like assignments. Some things to do to help to anchor this in your life. Because remember, your no trespassing sign might be made out of straw or paper, and it might be made out of concrete. I don't know. I'd have to talk to you to find out, right? And if you're lucky, you've taken it down. Now, that's not an easy thing to do in life. It's a process. Normally, it doesn't happen just like that. But as long as the no trespassing sign is there, there is some hesitation to let love in and let love out. There's some distrust, some wariness. And we want to melt that. I want that to melt in you so that you can have this experience of belonging on this planet and seeing what there is to be seen, which represents the presence of God. And I want you to be one of those things so that when people meet you, they meet beauty. When people meet you, they meet love. So you could say, I love you more. Even if it doesn't feel quite natural or it feels kind of scary, you can say, I love you more to the people you love. You can say, I love you more to the people you don't love, but want to. I remember a time I was in a marketplace in Kenya, and this was kind of when I was still a little bit afraid of the other, like I still felt a little bit out of place being the only white face in a sea of Kenyans. And I remember the person I was with, another white woman, she had gone off to run an errand. So I was standing outside this camera store feeling really, really self-conscious. And a Kenyan woman walks by, probably at the back of the room. She stops, she looks at me, and she goes like this. It was, I can't even tell you. It was amazing. Like, one, I was seen, and two, she took the time to express agape love, this universal love. So you can also say to yourself, use the word love more when you're talking to yourself. And I would make it fun. I would do things like, I love pancakes for breakfast, right? Or I love going to the beach. Because it will begin to activate an energy within you that is love. And you say it enough, and it will become your reality. But why not? I mean, you could go home and make a list of all the things you love about life, all the things you love in life. Now, are there things you don't love about life? Of course, there are a lot of things not to love about life. There are. I could make a list of those too, but if you make a list of the things you don't love, and you make a list of the things you do love, if you make a list only of the things you don't love, what happens? You get more of that. You will see more of that. You will experience more of that. More of that will become what you say is real. Bless you. If you make a list of what you love, and I mean thorough, you love the color red, you love your cat, you love whatever it is. It could be a long, long list. You will see more of that. You will experience more of that. What's not that will become less. You know how it is when you know how it is when you start looking for something like you're on a road trip with your family and you start counting Volkswagens, and all of a sudden, what do you see? Volkswagens everywhere, right? Or you're pregnant and all of a sudden you notice all the pregnant women. It's kind of like that, like where your attention goes grows. So make a list and start using the word love more. When someone expresses love to you or affection to you or compliments you, let them. Let it in, right? Because the heart is a two-way street. I love you, you love me. I love you, you love me. If there's a trespassing sign, there's no love. If you let love out but don't let love in, it's incomplete. I'm not sure you can love fully and completely if it's only going out. It's why it's so important science of mind is actually kind of a philosophy more than a religion in my world. And though it is a faith, I say philosophy, faith, and way of life. Because faith embodies this idea that that there's more than what can be seen. Science of mind as a metaphysical teaching acknowledges that beyond physical, there's something going on here beyond the physical world, beyond the planet, beyond the concrete things, that there's this energy of love. You can make a list of all the people you love in your life, just that you've ever loved. Like if I were to make that list, that Kenyan woman, I have no idea who she is. I would write down the Kenyan woman, because love touched me in a very wonderful, strange way in a foreign land. So I'm keeping this short today because we have a very special ceremony to do, and we're trying to get you to your potluck. As Linda said, she can see that some of you are starving. No, B said that. B said some of you are starving. By the way, okay, so here's a special invitation. Next Saturday is Malika's graduation. Please come out for it. Please sign up so we make sure we have Indian and Italian food for you. But I want to tell you that 20 to 30 ministers and practitioners and friends from all over Florida are coming, and they're going to stay overnight and come to service on Sunday morning. You never get a second chance to make a good impression. So we want to show up as love next Sunday for this group of people. Yes? Yes, thank you. And Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. All right, so do you agree to work at taking off your no trespassing sign? Yes. Oh man, that wasn't unacceptable. Do you, let me ask it another, will you work on, be willing to risk it all for love? Yes. All right, let's pray about that. All right, so just taking a moment to turn within in a very special way today. That we close our outer eyes because it allows us to dip inside. It allows us to move away from the news, the world, our past, our history, all the battering and bruising and broken hearts. It lets us take a deep dive into this very mystical place within us. The only place, Ernest Holmes said, the only place you'll ever find God is within yourself. And so we close our eyes and we begin to look and to seek. And so I know as we move within, we're moving within to the space of love and the space of beauty. That's where it is. And we can't not see love and beauty and know that we are lovely and beautiful, with a right and a reason to be here. We're maintained and sustained and connected by a loving energy that not only surrounds us, but is within us. And so it's from that place of connection that I speak this word about everyone in the sanctuary and within the sound of my voice, affirming that it is safe to love. It is safe to take down the no trespassing sign. That in doing so, we will find purpose and meaning and joy beyond our wildest dreams. Even if life has been great up until now, this experience of agape love is a mind blower. It's a game. Simply taking a breath, affirming for yourself that all the words I'm speaking are true about you, true about your family, your friends, your loved ones. And to simply walk out of here today knowing that it is safe. Will you find a few thorns? Indeed. But you'll also find a whole bunch of roses. And so I just release this word into the great law of mind, this great manifesting principle that is the presence of God as law, knowing that the molecules are changing within us and the people we love, and that the manifestation or demonstration of this word that I'm speaking is assured. And so we leave here at peace. We leave here knowing that all is well with us. And so for this, and more than my words can say, we are grateful. And I just invite you to affirm all of this for yourself with me by saying, and so it is, amen.